Hello. Today I will be doing a video on American Murder, The Family Next Door, featured on Netflix. This is about the Chris Watts murders, where he murdered his wife and two daughters, Shannon, Celeste, and Bella. I never paid too much attention to the story, but I knew enough information about the case to where this documentary was a letdown. It was pretty much a rehash of what most of us already knew because the story was really huge 2 years ago, and all the footage here is the same footage you can find on YouTube. I thought this would contain new interviews from investigators and people that knew the couple, even before watching the documentary. When I first heard they were releasing this, my first thought was, okay, this story again? Like, what more can possibly be said? They're really beating a dead horse at this point. Also, what I didn't like about the media was how they made Shannon out to be an oblivious housewife while her husband was cheating and plotting her murder behind her back, when really she was upset with him the whole time and knew something was wrong with him and his behavior. And this got me to thinking maybe she kept posting all of those lovey dovey videos about Chris and how great her family life was in order to mask her real unhappiness, because social media is fake and you never really know what's happening in someone's life, no matter how many happy pictures they post. So maybe she wanted to keep up that facade. So that was some insight that I did appreciate because it was new information for me. Because, like I mentioned before, the media made it seem like she was happy go lucky and she didn't see any of this coming. Another thing that was mentioned that I wasn't aware of personally was how much Chris's family hated her and how she suspected and accused Chris's mother of trying to kill her kid, because Shannon and Chris's mother never really got along and they didn't even show up at their wedding. Like, they despised her. And I'm surprised the connection of potential violence running in that family was never brought up, because the mother was suspected of trying to do harm to a kid. So now Chris is being accused of harming his own kids. So psychotic behavior clearly runs in that family. Chris's behavior didn't stem from nowhere. No normal person wakes up one day and decides to kill their wife and kids, no matter how much child support or alimony they might have to pay. Instead of doing just a rehash of the murders, I would have preferred to know more about Chris's background and how he grew up, and more about his parents. Because what the heck was going on in his childhood that his mother passed on to him? Because she clearly herself had no problem harming her own grandkids. But other than that, I didn't really learn anything new. I didn't see the point in this documentary because there's nothing else to explore. And now it just looks exploitive, especially when they were showing private text conversations and how Shannon was telling her friend that Chris didn't want to have sex with her and how she was horny and begging for sex, but he wouldn't touch her. And I'm like, come on. Like, this is way too much. Would she have wanted that stuff out there, especially since she was so hell bent on making her life seem happy and perfect on Facebook? Let the woman rest in peace and with some dignity. Now I'm starting to think that this is just for our own amusement and to gawk at someone else's tragedy. Again, very exploitive. They're milking this tragedy for all it's worth. By the way, I did think it was odd that Chris only got a life sentence. How did he avoid the death penalty? Other than the fact that he's white. But that's a whole different conversation right there. Overall, I give this a 6 out of 10. I guess this serves a purpose if you want to know everything about the case in one location instead of watching several police videos. So yeah, 6 out of 10.